Sadistic Penguin Studios presents It's Getting Drafty in Here.
Drafty old farm.
The show of drafting random nonsense.
I choose business ethics.
And now, coming to you from his basement, a.k.a. Draft Headquarters, your host and draft master, Magnificent Stan.
Hello, welcome to episode 54. It's Getting Drafty in Here. I am your host, Magnificent Stan. Today is Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. And we're right in the middle of election season, so I thought we'd do a fun one where we're going to draft and discuss our favorite fictional presidents of the United States. Joining me today, a couple of Drafty Pod regulars, our guy Not Larry. How you doing, Caddyshack 2?
Oh, wonderful. Getting ready to draft some fake POTUSes. I'm excited. I've got my number
a list of
right
one.
I really just need to make sure I have one, and then I'm happy with my draft.
Okay.
All right, that works. Jackie's usually like that too. As long as she gets her one in, she's usually pretty happy. But Jackie's with us again. Speaking of which, how you doing, Jacki?
Hey, I'm here, and it was a rough day, but I'm here and I'm ready because I have the first overall pick. And you're right, I only just want to get like my one pick in. As long as I get that in, I'll be happy. So I was very happy to win the first pick. I'm ready.
It's always a fun thing. I had actually last draft, the mascot draft, I had the first pick for the first time in quite a while. I use an algorithm, I use like a randomizer, and it's kind of weird that I never get the first pick.
Yeah, you should definitely be rigging these. I'm kind of just
absolutely.
I do my best. It's why I've only won like 5 of them out of 54 episodes. You know.
I was gonna say, like, did picking first finally get you a win?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
I think Dougie won last week.
Oh. The bums vote.
I should have won.
Yeah, the bums voting block is huge.
Yep. You can't fight City Hall, right?
Can't.
All right. Well, let's dive in. For those of you that are looking at the board, if you don't know what POTUS means, it's the acronym for President of the United States. So.
I would, but he's not my friend. He's my boss, and it's not his name; it's his title.
I don't like drugs. I just love pot.
I get that. That's funny. Cataract free. Oh shit. Sorry. All right. So I tweeted this earlier.
I just heard Brandy laughing upstairs, by the way. So nice job.
Nice. So if you follow me on Twitter, which you should all do, zombie_Jacki. I'm pretty funny. My favorite show of all time is The West Wing. Which was a drama on NBC in the late 90s, early 2000s. And the fictional, I was going to say, if you don't know what my first pick is going to be, you need to reevaluate your friendship with me. Like, you don't know anything about me if you don't know what I'm going to pick first. Brian, what am I going to pick first?
Glenn Allen Walken. Brilliantly by John Goodman.
On my list. But my first pick with this draft,
Matt Santos.
Also on my list. But no, it's going to be Josiah Bartlet from The West Wing, the absolute greatest fictional president of all time.
Yeah, I can't fight.
I
that
win.
One.
Let's end the draft. Let's end the draft. I got it.
You didn't win yet. Come on.
I think I just did.
Yeah,
Martin Sheen is fucking brilliant, though. I mean, he's just you can't.
If we're doing a presidents who put on a coat properly draft, then this is not going to work out well for you. I know that's like a real thing for because he did something to his shoulder or something, so now he's got to like throw it over his head.
I just hurt my shoulder doing that, just to let you know. So
it just looks very weird every time he does it.
Yeah, it's very weird. If you guys, if those of you haven't seen the show, whenever he puts his sports coat on, he always like brings it up over his head and he like swings it around his shoulders and puts it on. It's very like it has some grace to it, but it's really weird.
Can you bring up Brandy's comment? That's my favorite quote of him. That's when he took both of his back pain medicines at the same time. It's like, before I go, please, let me just say this. I'm seriously thinking about getting a dog.
Toby's a nice name.
Toby's a great name. Oh, man.
The range of emotions that Jed Bartlett goes through as president of the United States is pretty fucking wild.
Listen, not in the early seasons, when he's a new president, like he's just very quotable and like affable and funny. And then Martin Sheen fucking does something in the later seasons when he has MS and like his portrayal of him struggling through that. Like it's man.
It's
Team
perfection.
Sam or Team Josh? Team Josh. Joshua Lyman.
Is anybody Team Sam?
was
Like I
Lemon
like him, but
Yeah, lemonlyman.com. You like Sam better?
I'm Team Toby always, no matter what. I named my dog after his kid. So
we actually did our first dog that we got. He was named Samson, and we didn't like the name Samson, but we couldn't come up with anything else. And we're like, oh, we'll call him Sam or Sammy. We were in the middle of watching The West Wing when we got our second dog, and my wife's like, well, it could be the communications department. So our dogs are Sam and Toby.
That's awesome.
Toby named after that. Yeah.
After Toby Ziegler. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. The late seasons on Toby soured me on the character. They did him dirty in that character arc.
he got frustrated. He also got bored with the job is what happened. He so desperately wanted to do other things they wouldn't let him because people kept leaving. And
are you talking about the actor, or Toby?
Toby.
Okay.
It's Toby in general.
Okay.
But
my favorite part about Jed Bartlett, and I can't quote the scene or anything, so I'll turn it over
I
to
can't
you
tell
guys.
me it. Yeah.
they start yelling in Latin all of a sudden.
When they're doing the radio broadcaster thing and he walks into the room and that one woman doesn't get up for him, and the way he just grills her about like the Bible and things she said and stuff like that. And then at the end, he's just like basically like, it's my house. You fucking get up when I tell you to, or when I.
By the way, while
awesome.
you have what did he say? Something misidentified this as your annual meeting of the Tight Ass Club. In this house, when the president stands, nobody sits.
It's a great scene.
There's
a lot of great scenes. I mean, you got that one. You got him screaming in the cathedral after his secretary dies. It's like the saddest thing ever.
After he killed her.
Yeah.
He should have. I know. Allison Janney won like 37 Emmys for that show, but Martin Sheen should have won just as many.
Everyone should have won just as many. That's the best show ever. Brian, when they write the books about this moment, it will say that you were not there for me.
Speaking of the West Wing, I have started to devise a West Wing draft, and I have asked the cast on Twitter if any of them would like to join in. I didn't get any responses, obviously. But
Wes, I picked Jed Bartlett.
That would be pretty awesome.
I don't believe it.
It'd be awesome if you got one response and it was the Mrs.
Who's most likely to be on Drafty Pod? I go Josh Molina.
No, Molina wouldn't do it. He's too hoity. It's gonna be Ed or Larry.
It's the secretary that he killed with the.
Is she still alive?
Drive back. I
Is
think
that actor
so.
still alive?
No,
the last time I checked,
Brandy and I were just Brandy and I have been watching it again like the last couple of weeks, and we looked it up, and she passed away a number of years ago.
In a car accident at 18th and Potomac, or like natural causes?
She was also Zach Braff's first patient that died on Scrubs. So that's a really sad episode too.
I've seen that one too. All right, so I could talk about Jed Bartlett all day, but I don't want to take up the entire potty. So let's
That's cool. That'll work.
yeah.
All right, so I've
Mr.
got
Mr.
my.
Nutler?
I
Yeah,
can't
so
wait. I can't wait.
So I've got. Oh, I gotta put it on this side.
I can't.
Is that washed out? You can't see it. Selena
see it.
Meyer, no matter what.
Okay.
Selena Meyer from Veep,
From Veep.
and she's just Julia Louis-Dreyfus, just being a foul-mouthed, like a foul-mouthed cougar, is just like perfect for her. Because like the outfit, the outfits that she wears are like just. She looks stunning. She just will say anything to anybody. I mean, I've got some Selena Meyer quotes, and if I can get through any of them without blushing, I might. But she's hilarious. She's just the way she treats everybody around her like crap, and then it all comes back to bite her in the ass, and then she ends up being okay with it. Like, just a brilliant show, brilliant character.
Yeah, I unfortunately can't really speak too much on Veep because I never finished it.
Me
I did
neither.
I found it absolutely hysterical, and that's another like ensemble cast where like Tony Hale and oh man, it's just they flow so well together. But yeah, I don't know why, but I never got to finishing it. I only watched the first season pretty much.
Me too, and it was because on HBO Max they only had the first 2 seasons for a little bit. Like it was, that's all that was available to stream, so that's all that I watched. But I remember when I picked up Veep, I also loved it. It was so cringy in like the best way, like the things that would happen. Oh. So I don't know.
And there are lines like she has that you're like, oh my god, this sounds like somebody maybe who like could be running for POTUS right now. Like there's one she says, all I'm saying is there are going to be difficult choices to make, like Sophie's choices, except more important because it's going to be about me. Like just insensitive, like wrong and hilarious all at the same time.
That's awesome. All right, well,
Good
are all
pick. On my
seasons
list.
streaming now? Because I'll go back and watch them.
I'm sure
They are. It definitely it's like most sitcoms where it like gets good, and then it just kind of starts to die about halfway through.
Yeah. Jed Bartlett from New Hampshire.
I think Brandy's gonna spend the whole hour here just putting up West, and I'm all for it. So
yeah,
I have no problems with that.
I like Jonah from Veep. Jonah was my favorite. What a chode.
And just the way she insults him, and just everybody insults him when he comes over.
Yeah,
she's just a dick to everybody, and everybody's for it,
Well, Jonah deserves it. Jonah deserves it.
And
I always felt it was like a political version of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's just very like, oh god.
Yeah. Everybody on that show is Michael Scott, and you're just like,
yeah, Michael Scott, but meaner.
Right. All right.
Very good. Very good.
I'm gonna go ahead and go here. I'm gonna go silly. Let's just do this. I'm gonna go with President Scroob from Spaceballs.
Very good. Very good. He was on my list too.
Who, of course, has the most intricate password or code for his luggage, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, he's just Mel Brooks. He's not in the movie for a very long time. It's a few scenes, but he always turns it for the best. Like even though it's already going so well, you slide Mel Brooks in, you're like, all right, you're cool.
And can we talk about that ass in that movie from President Scroob? Let's talk about that ass for a little bit.
That ass.
I think of him going, why didn't somebody tell me my ass was so big? Right. Every single time I see a picture of myself.
Yeah.
That just goes right.
Every time you see a picture of yourself, you're like, ah.
Yep. Why did somebody tell me my ass was so big?
Chew your gum.
Chew your gum. Very
good, Brian. Very good. No, that was on my list too. That was my sleeper pick a little bit. So okay, let me mark this off. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, that was on mine too. I didn't know if it would fit for POTUS, but yeah, it's a great pick.
Hey, he's technically the president, right? So even if
Yeah.
it is in space, but so yeah, I'm gonna keep rolling with silly. And I am gonna go with Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho from the film Idiocracy.
Very nice. Someone had to take it. Someone had to take it. I'm surprised it waited until the second round, to be honest with you. I would have put him before Scroob.
No, I haven't watched Idiocracy in quite a while, but I remember him just being absolutely out of control. And it was one of the first times people like really saw Terry Crews like you're a comic genius, Terry.
I love Terry Crews.
And I'm getting some rave reviews here. I'm not going to win this draft, but I'm going to get.
You might.
I always get rave reviews. And I never win, so don't worry about it.
I never get rave reviews and I never win, so that's fine.
My favorite line from President Camacho is like, I always like the little silly throwaway lines that you don't think should be as funny as they are. But it's when he goes.
It's always the best.
Right. It's when he goes in to address Congress and he's telling him to sit down and goes, sit down. Sit your monkey ass down. He's like talking to Congress. And shit. I know shit's bad right now. It's so funny. God, it's so funny.
Go away, Baton. I love that movie so much.
I love that movie so much too. That's a good pick, Brian. And how they salute everybody. Oh.
I need to watch it again. It's been a number of years, but it's. I mean, just with the way the world is turning, it's probably more of a manual than anything.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
always
need to
like,
try to avert, you know.
but it's got electrolytes.
It has electrolytes.
It's what plants crave.
Brondo.
It
has electrolytes.
Unfortunately, I don't have a ton to offer this because it's been a long time since I've seen it. I tried to watch it a couple of weeks ago with my wife, and
it would just be sad now. I think if you've never seen it before and you went to go watch it now, you'd be like, "This is a social commentary of like."
I think it's probably why most of us haven't watched it in so long is because it's more sad than funny.
Yeah. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
You need to put water on the plants. What, like from the toilet?
Toilet. That's a great pick.
All right, Lair, what we got?
Okay, I'm gonna go. I was gonna go silly, but he's still there, and I don't think he'll make it back to me. So I'm gonna go with Thomas J. Whitmore from Independence Day.
Very, very good pick. He was high on my list. You talk first. That's your pick.
Just one of the greatest speeches you'll ever hear from a sitting president who's about to get into an aircraft and take down aliens. It's probably in my top 5 of those speeches in that scenario. He's just great, and he's like he came from being a fighter pilot and just like kind of selfless dude, and just went up there and led the attack and had one, like I said, one of the best speeches from movies of that era.
And his daughter is really bland.
Come on, the man's wife died.
You never knew that,
died,
did you? Please
Brian.
Tell me you didn't know that, Larry. Oh my God. The daughter in Independence Day is Anne Hogg from Arrested Development.
No way.
He's Googling it.
Yes.
Googling
I am Googling it currently. Her?
Yeah, he's
Larry.
perfect in that. I love Pullman. He's so good.
Not Larry, did you know that the chief of staff from Veep is the girl from My Girl?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I'm just making sure. You didn't know the other one.
And then
so
let's go in with a tie-in. What's the name of the president you just drafted? Thomas J. What's the name of the little boy in My Girl? Thomas J.
Whoa, I'm going to have a heart attack here.
Wow.
This is like that Keanu Reeves, like Bill and Ted thing where it's like, whoa.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Are you freaking out?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course his wife dies, and like he has a he goes after the aliens with a vengeance, obviously, at that point.
The hardest scene, I think, in that whole movie is like when the trapped alien like picks up the scientist to talk to the president about how there's not going to be any peace. No peace. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Isn't
But
that the dude from like Star Trek too?
President Whitmore didn't back down though. That alien didn't scare him. Great pick.
He's such a badass.
He was. Very good pick. Very good pick.
Yeah, that's like the perfect 4th of July movie.
Yes.
There's a really good Twitter account that actually, I think it starts on the 2nd, and it does everything in the like actual timeline of the movie. They'll tweet out everything that happened. It's great.
Yeah, right. Like the White House has been evacuated or whatever they say. I've seen those. That's very funny.
Yeah, there's a few years ago, like before I knew what it was, somebody was like retweeting it, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is nobody else talking about this?
Something like I was just dicking around on like Instagram on my reels one night, and I saw an interview with Ethan Hawke. Did you know that Ethan Hawke was offered Will Smith's role and turned it down because he read the script and he's like, "This is fucking stupid. This will never be good." And then he went to the theater and he's like, "I made a horrible fucking mistake." Like a Job moment. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you never turned down a Michael Bay movie in the 90s. Like,
never trust a Sicilian when death is on the line.
It's on the line.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Let's see.
All right, Jackie.
We're ready for me to win this draft. I'm gonna win the draft with this.
I know you're gonna take another Sorkin president, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
He's gonna be my number 2 pick. Listen,
I did that just for you. I left it for you. I was gonna take
before there
him,
was
like,
the
"Let
West
him
Wing. Before there was the West Wing, there was the American President. Another Aaron Sorkin movie with Michael Douglas and what's Sidney Ellen Wade's actress? Annette Bening.
Annette Bening, yeah.
Yes.
I love Annette Bening so much.
So it's Andrew
And also
Shepard.
Martin Sheen.
And also Martin Sheen is
Yeah,
the chief of
Martin
staff.
Josh
And
Malina.
Josh Malina is in there. And also, for people that don't know, the show The West Wing is kind of a spin-off of The American President, of that in that one scene where he has to attack I think it's Bolivia in the American President. Libya, where he talks about a proportional response. That scene was supposed to be bigger and longer, and that's what made it into The West Wing. And like The West Wing is Sorkin's like, I wanted to talk more about the staff than I wanted to talk about the president. And like it was born of that scene and of that movie. Anyway, Andrew Shepard, also a badass, falls in love with hot ass, Sidney Ellen Wade. And
When she comes out in his shirt.
I know, it's like,
Yeah, she looks fantastic in that movie.
Perhaps I didn't explain the fundamentals of the slowdown plan.
Camp
Please,
David.
please.
Oh yeah, I used to love it until they changed chefs.
Are you nervous? No. Good. My nervousness exists on many levels. Like,
Well, it's funny with Aaron Sorkin stuff because if like I watch American President, then watch Sports Night, then watch West Wing, and you see so many like recycled storylines, so many recycled lines, so many recycled, and it still works. I mean, nobody really like, unless you're a freaking dork like me, like you're not gonna remember like, oh, that's what
Right.
Robert Guillaume said in Sports Night, and you're like, oh, okay. So
it's Christmas.
And Josh Molina is in all of those.
yes,
A Few
Yes,
Good
he
Men
is.
as well.
A Few Good Men and Sports Night and The West Wing and The American President. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's Andrew Shepard. And also with the badass speech at the end where he talks about the gun reform bill and
He sends
His whole-
455 to the floor.
Right. She didn't come back though because he sent 455 to the floor.
Well, he didn't do it
Yeah,
to
she
get
did.
her
Let's
back.
be honest. Let's be honest. She did come back because of that. Quid pro
Well,
quo.
she was trying to come back, but DuPont Circle was just a mess. So.
Michael J. Fox is phenomenal in that too.
Oh yeah, he's so good. And also the woman who played the press secretary in American President then became
Nancy
Nancy
McNally?
McNally.
Yeah.
Yes. Anna DeVere or something like
DeVere
that.
Smith, yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, his name is Andrew Shepard, and he is the president.
He is the president.
Okay.
Dreyfus
All right,
is so good in that too.
He's so smarmy.
Slimy, yeah.
Yeah. Bob Ross.
Presidents.
They should have had him sit in a chair. You ever see Richard Dreyfuss sit in a chair and do an
Beginning to
interview?
look like Christmas. A Virginia ham. That's right, Mailman Jack. There's never an egg timer around when you need one. So, all right, I'm moving on though because again, I could talk about the American President. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So,
It's a good flick.
so here's where I'm going to win the draft. Mailman Jack said that he wanted a cartoon president, and I too.
God
want a
damn it! If you
cartoon
take mine, I'm
president.
gonna kill you.
I too want a cartoon president who maybe isn't from this planet. Maybe he's from Rigel 4. So my choice is Kang from The Simpsons.
That's so deep cut, man. I thought you were taking something else. That's so deep cut. Was that the one that was voiced by James Earl Jones?
Oh, I don't know that. I'm surprised.
One
that
of them
I don't, but
was.
I know that.
I can't remember.
Here you go, humans. Take all you want, but eat all you take.
Eat all you take.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Kang from The Simpsons. You can't blame Homer because he voted for Kodos. They are merely
Abortions
exchanging
for
wrong
all.
protein strength. Oh yeah, very well. Abortions for some, miniature American flags for others. Yay!
Yay! Oh, that's a good one. It is a good one. I like it. I knew we were gonna go Simpsons at some point, but I
had a few
I didn't think you were gonna
Simpsons
take
ones on my
Kang. So
list. Kang is
Thought
the
you were
best
gonna take-
one. Don't tip ticks. There's more picks. What do you got, Larry? What do you got? Not Larry.
Okay, so if that's where you win the draft, here's where I lose the draft because this is one of my favorite movies that I'm sure a lot of people didn't see. And the character's name is just President of the United States, played by Alan Alda.
Yep.
In Canadian Bacon.
I was just
In
thinking
where?
about that one about an hour ago.
Canadian
where?
Bacon.
Oh no, I don't know that one.
I think it was John Candy's second to last movie.
Okay.
So he plays the sheriff of Niagara Falls.
It's Jackie. If you haven't seen it, you have to.
I haven't.
so
No, I
good.
haven't.
Michael
The
Moore
econ-
wrote and directed it.
Yeah,
It's a comedy written and directed by Michael Moore. It's kind of weird.
Cool.
it's the economy's in the dump, and the president and his staff try to get people basically to fear the Canadians, and they're going to come across the border like maple syrup. And so he tries to heighten tensions, but John Candy and his buddies are out right on the border. They get nervous. They invade Canada. It starts a war with Canada. It's amazing.
That's a storyline from The West Wing, not Larry. Keep on going.
Yes, but this is way before. So
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's not stolen. I think it was 95.
No, and the storyline is not at all similar. It's just there was a contingency plan to invade Canada. But go ahead.
John Candy's wife is the chief of police in Niagara Falls, right? And it's Real Perlman.
Real Perlman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his wife.
I thought they were married. I haven't seen it in years. So.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia. It was his girlfriend.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google it too, just so I can see if I even recognize the poster thing.
The cast
Everybody's
is
in
great.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cast is
Alan
amazing.
Alda, John Candy, Real Perlman, Kevin Pollak, Rip Torn, Stephen Wright. There's
I
just
forgot
like
Stephen Wright was in it.
Wallace Shawn is the Prime Minister of Canada.
Yep.
Everybody's in this movie.
Like the interview, like the meeting he has, Alan Alda has with with Canada about like fabricating a war so they can all profit from it. It's just Oh man, it's good. He's such a piece of shit in it.
There's this guy who gets sent over from like the Russia desk because he was causing too much chaos, and he's like their man to Kevin Pollak's man to like dig up all this dirt, and he's just like, just like has facts about Anne Marie and like all this like weird shit, and Alan Alda's just like all ready to take it all in, and like how's it helping his poll numbers and stuff. There's the war room scene at the end is like, is an homage to Dr. Strangelove. It's great.
It's a really good movie. You should watch it, Jackie.
I was just
silly.
Googling it to see like, well, is it streaming anywhere? And it's streaming on like Tubi or something. And I'm like, I won't be watching that. But when it comes to one of the other ones,
you're a Tubi snob.
A little bit.
Spend the $4 on Apple and just buy it. You won't regret it.
Okay, that's fair. And by the way, when you're Googling that, it's important to say Canadian bacon movie. Otherwise, you're just going to get met with a bunch of pictures of
just a bunch of ham. There's a shitload of ham.
Yes.
A big Virginia ham.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That's all Canadian. It's just fucking ham.
It's the dogwood.
It's a dogwood.
It's a tree and a flower.
It is a tree and a flower.
I'd like a dozen, please.
Really, no.
So that scene kind of reminds me of Jed Bartlett calling the turkey hotline.
That is my favorite. I'm surprised we didn't.
It's very similar.
That was excellent.
Very similar.
We should do that once a week. I gotta get better at the names.
I'm a citizen. I got it from the king of auto sales in Fargo. All right. I'm gonna keep going with a silly here. When you said you were gonna take an animated one, I thought you were taking this one. This is one of the most underrated animated films of all time, in my opinion. Even though people love it, but I still think it's underrated. I'm going President Business from the Lego Movie.
Oh, I didn't see that, so I don't know that one.
You've never seen the Lego Movie?
No, I have no.
Oh,
you have? Don't you have kids around that age?
My kids weren't into it. I think they're a little bit too young for that. Like, I think my kids are 10 and 8. So, like, what time were?
Okay. So the movie's what? The movie's probably about 10 years old, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So she wasn't.
Your kids will love it. You should watch it. It's very good. He's the bad guy in it, President Business. So.
Who voices him? Do you know?
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, cute.
So, very funny. Let me find a picture of him because it's really, really pretty silly.
It's just gonna be like a Lego guy, right?
Right. And he also has like a helmet that he wears later on,
Okay.
But he's basically, so it's about a kid playing with his Legos, and the movie is the kid, like a kid playing with his Legos, and Will Ferrell is his dad, and his dad doesn't let him play with a lot of the Legos because it's like his hobby and not the kid's hobby. So it's like it's real and then it's not real, so it's pretty silly, but very good movie. Your kids will love it.
Okay.
So I'm going that one, and then I'll keep on going with silly, and I'm going to go with President James Dale from the film Mars Attacks, brilliantly played by Jack Nicholson.
Okay, that's a good one.
So, Jack Nicholson plays like 9 characters in that movie, so.
It's another one I haven't seen in forever.
I was gonna say I've seen it and I remember liking it, but I haven't seen it in forever, and I can picture that character, but I don't remember any of his,
His wife is Meryl Streep, and the aliens end up killing both of them. So.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Because he's a silly bastard, but he basically he's your stereotypical politician, like trying to get something out of everything, and then it kind of blows up in his face. So.
Okay. All right.
So,
well,
yeah,
I will tell you it's a good pick, but I don't.
This is a tactic, right, Jackie?
A little bit.
diminish my pick. Damn it!
I see one good pick on your board, Brian. I see one good pick.
Wow.
He definitely has the funniest group.
He does have the
Well,
funniest
I don't know.
He does. He went silly the whole time.
But yeah,
He
every
went silly.
single one.
You're just a silly
I've been
little guy.
trying. I've been trying. My buddy Kevin. You guys know Kevin.
Yeah.
I've been trying to theme my drafts lately. So
Oh.
that's kind of what I did there.
Your
yeah.
your movie.
But
food
I'm sorry. I gotta
theme
play
was
stupid though.
amazing.
I didn't have a theme. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I was listening to that cracking up.
All right, Lair. You got
All
your
right,
last
I'm
pick?
gonna go. So I guess I have gone silly for 2 of my first 3, but I'm gonna save my silliest for last, and I'm gonna go with Thomas Tug Benson from Hot Shots Part 2,
Oh.
played by Lloyd Bridges. And he same character as he was in the first one, but he goes from I think he was like an admiral to now he's like the president.
He's the president. Yeah. The sword fight scene with Saddam Hussein is so good.
Oh God,
Suffer and succotash.
Is that where Roman Reigns got it from?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he gets enough credit for like being the straight man goofball. Whereas like I feel like Leslie Nielsen gets so much like probably overloved for like that goofball.
They were both such
character.
serious actors for so long too, and they just both turned. Lloyd did it. Lloyd Bridges was turned a little earlier, I think, than Leslie Nielsen. No, maybe. Well, they were both in Airplane, right?
Yeah, and Lloyd, and that was I read the oral history of an Airplane, and like his kids had to talk him into doing it, and like no, Lloyd Bridges, and no, this is why it's funny because you're gonna play it straight, and he played that. Him and Leslie Nielsen both played those roles straight, but he kept playing those comedy roles straight, whereas like Leslie Nielsen did like the Jim Halpert turn to look at the camera after some of that stuff and like really tried to be funny, which made him less funny. But Lloyd Bridges was just hysterical because he just never stopped playing straight. So
looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing or taking amphetamines.
Yeah, he's hanging upside down by the end.
Why do I remember? Is there a scene in Hot Shots where he has like a handkerchief, like a napkin in his ear, and he's going back and forth with it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think somebody blows it, and like it sounds like a wind tunnel kind of thing. Yeah. Just total.
He was on my list.
He was not on mine. I've never seen that movie. I'm sure it's great.
Oh. Awesome.
Do you like slapstick, like satire stuff?
Yeah, I was Googling it while you guys were talking. So I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
It's basically like the Hot Shots movies are basically satire of like Rambo.
Yeah, I looked up and I recognized like the Charlie Sheen.
Right.
Like I recognized the movie poster.
The first one is a satire of Top Gun, and the second one's a satire of Rambo.
He picks up the chicken and just
he takes the chicken,
shoots it with the
my favorite part, Hot Shots Part 2, when they're all jumping out of the plane and they're all yelling Geronimo, and all of a sudden there's a Native American guy and he jumps out of the plane and he goes, me.
I thought it was funny when they get to the end to save her husband, and it's Rowan Atkinson.
And
just like,
and he can't walk because his shoes are tied together.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to carry me. His shoes are tied together. Oh,
yeah,
God. I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah, great.
When he's like fighting in the bazaar in Calcutta, and the guy's dipping his wraps in glass and nails, and then Charlie Sheen grabs his and he puts it in caramel, and he's trying to figure out if she put in sprinkles or gummy bears. Gummy bears, sprinkles. Yes.
Oh.
Such a good movie. That could be a draft, like random satire movies, like like Airplane and shit like that.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Or Airplane and Airplane and Hot Shots could be in the comedy sequels draft, along with other great sequels of comedy movies.
I've made this claim before. I'll make it again. Airplane 2 is just as funny as Airplane 1.
Yeah,
This
there's
thing with
some good
Sonny
gags.
Bono buying a time bomb or like a bomb at the airport. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Even more so now, it's funnier,
If Airplane, the original, didn't exist, people would find that movie hysterical. Yeah.
It's like watching Godfather 3, which is a great film.
No.
It's like watching Caddyshack 2.
Great film. Very
Can you
different from the-
put up Drew's comment, please? Pretty much.
Aren't we all the same age?
No, you guys are much older than me.
I think I'm like a year
I think
older than
we're-
Jacki.
Yeah, yeah, not by much.
I'm
All right,
32.
last
What are we
pick.
talking about?
You're
I'm
30.
19.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been growing this gray beard since I was 15.
Oh man.
What's the line from Elf? He's like, "Buddy, you've had a mustache since you were 12."
Yeah, pretty much. All right, is it me?
All right, Jacki. Yep.
All right. So Jack had said if I take who I think I'm going to win a landslide. I don't think I'm going to take what you think because I have lots of good people still left on my list, but I think I want to go silly. I'm going to draft with my heart and not for chalk. So this president doesn't have a fictional name as the president, but my pick is Daryl Philbin in Threat Level Midnight from The Office.
Oh, shit.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, he did that because he wanted his daughter to have
Sorry to
role
see a black
model for-
president. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. That's like fictional inside of fictional.
Yeah.
You
Jackie
just blew
should
my
win
mind.
for that one pick.
Yeah.
Well, you got Marge's pick. You picked someone from The Office, so Marge
okay.
will vote for you.
And Sam too, and Caitlin.
I love The Office. That is a really that's a clever pick, Jacki.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very
Joke's on
clever.
you. That guy was a convicted animal rapist.
By far the most expensive scene of the entire film.
But it was integral to the story to the film.
You know what, Bogues? Come on, dude.
Points have been made.
I mean, she didn't even dominate with number one.
Oh dear.
All right, we got one list. Well, I actually have two lists, but I have to read the other one because I didn't prep it because Jack just like randomly was texting me random thoughts throughout the morning. So, this is our guy Sean. He gave us a list. So there were two that didn't get picked.
Sean's pick.
The Underwoods from House of Cards, and then Billy Bob Thornton from Love Actually. I had that on my list. He's a piece of crap in that movie. He was perfect.
Is Billy Bob Thornton ever not a piece of crap in the movie that he's been in?
Armageddon.
Sling Blade?
I like the way you talk.
Thank you, someone.
I reckon you give me some biscuits. French fried potatoes. All right, let me grab Jack's list real quick. Hang on a second.
Did you compile Jack's list of all his random thoughts?
No, I'm just gonna go back through it all. What did he give me here? Excuse me.
While you're doing
Should have
that,
been ready.
I almost picked John Goodman as Glenn Ella Walken because I just want to raise this point. I have not found another person who has played as a character the President of the United States, which he did as Glenn Ellen Walken, and the King of England, which he did in King Ralph. I've been Googling this, like seeing if anywhere I can find like another character, another actor who has played both, and I cannot find it.
Huh. Interesting. Glenn Allen Walker is also just a really great character. As most of the West Wing is a liberal's wet dream, and so like he's like an ideal conservative, who puts country before party.
Well, it's
Just
Alan
because
Alda's character
Wilson gets
too was
the
like
power.
that as well.
Again,
but-
that's the West Wing's MO, right? So, and the
Right.
same thing with Cliff Calley, and the same thing with, and the same thing with, and
Ju-
the same thing with,
just,
and the same thing with.
just Joe, just
Joe.
Joe.
Just call me Joe.
Just call me Joe. All right. Mailman Jack had a list here. He put Michael Douglas in American President, so Andrew Shepard. He President Olivia Marsden on Supergirl, which was played by Linda Carter. Super Wonder Woman playing the president. And then he asked me if Bill Clinton on The Simpsons counts as a fictional president. I told him absolutely.
It did, because if that would have been true, then I would have picked the head of Richard Nixon from Futurama.
And then he
I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
I saw that on a couple of lists. He actually asked me the same question my sister asked me today. Shout out my sister Amy. If he can pick General Zod from Superman 2. So, because he technically becomes the president. I mean, he technically becomes the person that runs the world.
I mean, if you took Scroob, then I feel like that's
Yeah.
closer to
As if I ever have like rules or regulations for Drafty Pod. Except when
I was like, do we have to bring up the taco thing
yeah.
again? Okay.
We'll bring up the taco thing. HBIC likes to draft the same thing that other people draft. So. and I even let that happen. So hey, you know. Okay, dump lists. Who wants to start? Jackie? Yeah,
Ladies
yes,
first.
Jackie. I'm gonna be my
Okay.
teacher. Yes, Jackie.
Okay, I have Lisa Simpson from The Simpsons.
I had Lisa too.
I do have Matthew Santos from The West Wing. James Marshall from Air Force One, I'm surprised is not on this board.
As Dave Letterman called him, the ass-kicking president.
Right. I was going over my list with Wes. He's like, you got to pick that. That's ridiculous. And I'm like, no, I don't think I will be. President Schwarzenegger from The Simpsons movie. President Barbie from Barbie. President Not Sure from Idiocracy.
Yep.
And the last one that I have is, this president also didn't have a name, but I thought he just did a really good job. It was the president in National Treasure 2, the book like with Nicolas Cage. You know National Treasure 2?
I've never seen it, but who
Okay.
plays the president?
I wrote his name down. Hold on. Bruce Greenwood, who I don't know what else he was in. I know him best from he played ABC did a remake of Dirty Dancing, and he played the dad on that one. That's what I remember him from. But no, he does a really good job of that.
He's a
What's
really
that?
good character actor.
Yeah. I love her. I love her mind. I love her shoes.
All right,
Or
Larry,
should
what do you
I-
got?
Yeah, I had two left. Three. I had Glenn Allen Walken. I had Dave Kovic from
Yep.
Dave.
Dave.
That was at the top. That was top of my list. If I'd gone straight, I would have taken both Marshall, Harrison Ford's character, and Dave Kovic for sure.
Nice.
I also find that amazing because there are certain corners of the internet where people are very heavily believing that we are living the plot of Dave with our current president.
And it's James Woods, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He's kidding.
And so have you ever seen the movie My Fellow Americans?
Yes, they're both
With,
on my list. They're
Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau?
James Garner.
James Garner. Yeah. Jack Lemmon and James Garner. And they hate each other, and they're both one-term presidents and back and forth. And but my favorite from that was Ted Matthews, played by John Hurt.
He was basically Dan Quayle, right? When they were making fun of Dan Quayle.
Yeah, and he did what was he, Muskrat Susie, Muskrat Sam in the middle of a eulogy. He was just a complete moron who ended up being the spoiler alert, the evil genius behind it all at the end. Dan Aykroyd was another president within that. Yeah, good flick, funny, probably a throwaway movie, but still pretty funny. Yeah, that's what I got.
My grandpa used to play cards with James Garner. True story.
Okay.
That is a funny movie though. If anybody hasn't seen that movie, My Fellow Americans, it's very funny. It's old man. It's kind of old manish funny, like grumpy old men funny, but it's funny.
Also with Walter Matthau, correct?
There you go. Yeah.
No, he was the one nodding. Jack Lemmon was in it.
Oh.
In My Fellow Americans.
Yeah, Jack Lemmon, not Walter. Yeah, I think Walter Matthau was passed away by then. I wonder if Walter Matthau was thought of for that movie initially, and they just replaced him with James Garner. James Garner should have played the president more. He looks very presidential, and he talks very presidential.
He's got the presidential voice.
Yeah, he's got that presidential voice. So what do I have here that we haven't talked about? Lisa Simpson was a good one. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that was when you were doing Simpsons. I thought that's what you were taking. Maze Gilliam from Head of State, starring Chris Rock. It's Brandy's favorite movie. It's not. She fucking hates it. But he's like a congressman that runs for president, and he ends up winning. But like, it just kind of shows like the late 90s. Like I think it's the late 90s. The divide between like Black America and White America at that point. But it's really funny. Jack Stanton, primary colors, played by John Travolta, basically Bill Clinton.
Okay.
Monroe Cole from Welcome to Mooseport, last role of Gene Hackman's career.
He's not dead. He just retired, right?
Right. Yeah, he's still alive. Mr. President from Machete Kills, played by Charlie Sheen.
Wow, these are some deep cuts, or I just don't watch enough movies. Yeah.
And then finally, I was gonna take this. I was gonna if you hadn't taken, or if I had the first pick, I was gonna do something silly and be like, oh, this character was played by Martin Sheen, and it was an important character, and I was gonna pick Greg Stilson from the movie Dead Zone.
Okay.
You ever seen The Dead Zone?
No, Brian, I've never seen it.
So The Dead Zone is a movie from the early 80s with Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken he's a teacher, and he gets in a car accident. And after a car accident, whenever he touches anybody, he can see their future. So he goes to a political rally for a senator named Greg Stilson. He shakes his hand, and he sees the future. Greg Stilson is the president, and he is shooting all the nukes all over the world, just blowing everything up with all the nukes. So the movie's about Christopher Walken ends up having to kill him for the better of the world. So, but he plays it pretty well.
And you're not even gonna mention who plays Greg Stilson?
It's Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
It's Martin Sheen.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say, like, brilliantly played by Martin Sheen. You guys are expecting me to take Jed Bartlett, and I'm gonna take random Christopher Walken movie from 40 years ago.
Stephen King movie.
But yeah, so that was my list. That's about it.
That's about
Bye.
it.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, this was a fun one. I'm glad. I wanted to do something like political, but not political. You know, since we're right in the middle of the election cycle. Yeah. So I thought that was a silly one. I initially was going to do like favorite presidents, but then that would have like caused. Yeah, I'm not. One of the things I've tried to keep out of Drafty Pod is politics, and I'm very like I have strong opinions about politics, but I don't want to bring it in here. Like leave that out of the equation, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sure, Truman, if you like that sort of thing.
I was always a Lyndon Johnson guy, but story for another time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why Buchanan is really underrated.
Thank you. All right, well, that's about it for this week. We will be back in 2 weeks. We're gonna do TV theme songs. So that was brought up by our buddy over at the Chicago Sports Bums, Johnny. So Johnny's gonna be on, and then making his Drafty Pod debut is our regular in the chat here, our buddy Sean Janko. So
nice.
He's gonna be on as well. So yeah,
Sean's
we're looking forward to that one.
The podcast.
Yeah, he's making the rounds. I saw that he was on. Talking out your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a movie coming out or something that he's promoting?
Yep. That's exactly. He's plugging his new album. So we might do something small next week, Drafty Pod style. But I've been trying to compile a list because I'm going to start a companion show to this called Drafty Pod Quickie, and we're gonna do topics that are only gonna warrant like a 5 to 10 minute episode. So kind of like a rant, I think it's mostly gonna be food. But I'm still working on a list for that. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, Drafty Pod will be back on October 1st. We're gonna try to do 4 or 5 episodes within the month of October. I have some Halloween themed stuff we're gonna be working on. I'll give you guys more information on that. Finally do the serial killer draft we've been planning for like 2 years. So but yeah, that's it, Drafty Pod. Thank you, Jacki. Thank you, Larry. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to say before we go?
Man, I wish that Brandy hadn't made the getting a dog joke earlier, because I would have just said, like, before we go, please, let me just say this. I'm seriously thinking about getting a dog.
Bye.
Bye.